issue exists. They're either burying their head in the sand or they don't want to hear it. Those who are in charge would not like to hear about it, but they will hear about the monetary issue. This is the first time in over 100 years that it has been brought up in a presidential election, the fact of the money issue. Exactly what Jefferson thought of the first national bank. He got rid of it. What did Jackson do? He got rid of the second national bank. And now it's time to get rid of the third national bank. And I bring it up constantly. I've been bringing it up ever since I ran my first election in 1974, and I talk about inflation being a tax. Of course, Bernanke doesn't agree with me. He's always arguing with me. And when I complain about the inflation, he says, don't worry, we'll take care of it. We're concerned about it also. But inflation is the increase in the supply of money, which is done by a secret bank for the benefit of special interest, powerful financial people in the world.
Screw special interest!
By diluting the value of your money. It's a seductive tax. It's immoral and illegal, and it eventually destroys an economy. And unfortunately, we are moving rapidly to that point where our dollar not only will be in trouble, but it will be in a serious jeopardy of totally collapsing. That is why we have to reverse this trend. Of the business cycle coming from the conventional wisdom of the economists that are pervasive in our system as well as in Washington, that it is a consequence of capitalism. In the Depression, they said that the collapse was due to capitalism and the gold standard. The collapses, the financial bubbles come only when there's artificially created credit, artificially low interest rates, a lot of malinvestment, a lot of excessive debt, too much government interference, and it inevitably leads to a collapse. So right now, we have seen a couple. Just in recent days, we've seen the collapse of the Nasdaq bubble, the collapsing aspect of the housing bubble, and soon we might have to deal with the total collapse of the dollar. But I'll tell you what, I believe we have answers for this. They're not that difficult. We can find it. We can find it in the ideas of freedom and the limitation of government power by just following the Constitution. It sounds like you're running against the Republican Party. Well, there are a few in the Republican Party I do disagree with. There are a few in the Republican Party of past who spoke more wisely. But many times I feel like I'm running against Woodrow Wilson more than anybody else. So, Woodrow Wilson, during that era, we had the Federal Reserve come in, and we know that at that time they undermined the principle of states' rights by the 17th Amendment and having general elections of our senators. We know that Woodrow Wilson was idealistic enough and naive enough to believe that through force we could spread democracy around the world. But what other evil came in 1913 that we have to repeat?
The Federal Reserve!
The IRS! Doesn't come back, we repeal the 16th Amendment and it's the principle of the income tax that is so evil. It is based on the principle that if the government can have a tax on our income, it makes the assumption that the government owns us. They own 100% of our income, and they give us permission to keep a certain percentage. So the rejection should have been immediate, on principle, that even a 1% tax on anybody was wrong. So today, of course, is out of control. It emphasizes the fact that they own us, and in a free society, responsibility and ownership of one's life remains with the individual.